What's happening, everybody? Kyle Steele, SEO Expert, coming at you for whoop whoop Deep Tracks. What is Deep Tracks? Wes doesn't quite know. So I take the 1 Minute Wednesday idea and we go deep, scuba diving deep, and give you actionable advice on your business and your life. You ready? Let's roll. Tracks from SEO Expert, joined by Sir Weston Merrill.
Hello.
This week's 1 Minute Wednesday topic was have a solid marketing plan, right? If you're walking into a bank with your business plan, a pitch competition, the first thing they're going to ask you after, what the hell is your product? What's your marketing plan? What's your go-to-market strategy? What's your competition doing? How are you going to beat them? Those are all questions you're going to get. I couldn't have thought of a better person to have on this week's Deep Tracks than my man, Wes Merrill.
You're gonna make me blush.
He's blushing. So we also have an influx of Croatians this week who beat Argentina. So all you Messi fans in Argentina fans, lo siento.
Oh my gosh.
Don't even know that guy. He's drinking a lot of beer. He's super drunk. Croatia, congratulations on that. So Wes has been a part of, pitch competitions, business plans. Him and his colleague won the Iowa Startup Accelerator.
We were in it, yeah.
You were in it, and so he has a lot of experience with that. So when we talk about marketing, you as a business, whether you've been around 1 year or 100 years, you need to constantly reinvent yourself through your marketing plan. And if you're walking in with old school tactics, a lot of banks, pitch competitions, whoever, investors, whoever that might be, are going to look at that very deep. If you've been in business a long time and your marketing plan isn't up to date, you're going to lose out to your competition for those new up-and-comer whippersnappers who might want to take you out of business. So Wes, tell us a little bit about some of the things you've been involved in. You've had a couple businesses that you've successfully sold, kind of ran that course, Iowa Startup Accelerator. So maybe tell the audience, all about Wes, Sir Weston Merrill here.
Yeah. So we went through the Iowa Startup Accelerator and a few other different programs with some business ideas that we were working on. But the thing that we really tried to focus on is we always wanted to externally validate, kind of what are the benefits, what are our value propositions that we're trying to offer. And so that was something that I think where startups see a lot of interest in and a lot of differentiation is because the purchasing decisions and the purchasing patterns from larger companies, from what we had seen, at least in the industries that we were involved in, they change so quickly based upon digital patterns and movements and that type of thing.
Yep.
So the things that we focused on a lot was how do we test these different value propositions that we wanted to bring to market really, really quickly. So what we would do is we would use, a lot of it was Facebook ads and Google ads, and we would design different landing pages, different graphics to portray different value propositions and put them out in front of our target audience to see what's resounding the best. And we measure that through click-through rate, how long they're spending on that page, leads generated. And so we could rapidly test these different ideas of what we thought our target consumer was really interested in, and actually why they were interested in our products and why they wanted to buy them. So.
Well, and because you don't have a lot of time, right? In the startup world, a day is the equivalent of a year sometimes, right? So what's successful today might not be successful tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So Facebook ads, obviously had a strong web presence.
Web presence was big.
Google AdWords. Mm-hmm. So those are ways to capture attention. How quickly were you able to get that feedback?
Instantaneously. Because we would come up, we'd basically plan out our week, and we'd come up and being like, okay, here were the results from the past week. Let's go ahead and tweak the verbiage on these ads or these types of value propositions, or even entirely different concepts, and we would just A/B test that throughout the entire week. At the same time, though, what we would do is we would come up with a list of leads who we wanted to market to. For example, this is one of the strategies that we would use.
Yeah.
So as a newer company, we didn't have any brand recognition. I mean, people had never even heard of us.
Zero.
So what we would
Even
do,
I hadn't heard of him yet. And I love the man.
So what we would do is we would come up and, I mean, just to get people on the phone, and we would, we'd get people on the phone not only to try and sell to them, but I mean, the real core of it was kind of like, okay, what kind of traction can we get out of this?
Yeah.
So we would have just an ad on there for a different set of consumers, of people who we wanted on the phone. And it would just have our logo on there on like a black screen. And we would just have maybe 10 to 15 impressions on them using Facebook or Twitter. And then once we had enough, we knew that we could probably reach out to them. But the funny thing is when we would call these people up, because we knew who they were, we knew they had seen our ads, we'd tell them, oh, hey, I'm Wes with X company. And they'd be like, oh, X company, I've heard of that. But they never knew where. So that was our way of getting in the door. But I mean, these are types of strategies that, we had to iterate quickly. We didn't really necessarily have the time to be able to build up the brand recognition.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of it comes from, a little bit of hacking the system, but
it's not hacking the system. It's just being very articulate and
Yeah.
very calculated with your marketing spend, right?
yeah,
Because
definitely.
you take that, you compare that to a billboard, right? That's going to take at least a month for you to get the graphics and get that
Sure.
up. Think about a postcard. You're talking about minimum 3 to 5 days just for people to get it.
Yeah.
And I don't think my kids even know what mail is, right? So, I mean, if you're trying to get out in front of your audience, you think
Yeah.
about postcards, radio, TV, all the traditional mediums that people have been using. You don't get that instantaneous feedback because you need to either fail fast or succeed fast, especially in the startup world. And so that's why it's important to treat yourself like a startup, like
Yeah.
a brand new business, because you need to act quickly. Now with the Startup Accelerator, that was, talk about, failing fast and then adjusting. Wes had originally gone in with an idea for Bluetooth weightlifting, and within a week
Yeah.
you found out, kind of tell that story here really quickly.
Yeah, so I mean, we went in with, we wanted to create a device that went on the ends of barbells that would basically automate the entire workout process.
On the
Track your weights, your sets, your reps, everything. And I mean, we were able to get in front of some really big people like TCU. We were specifically focusing on strength and conditioning programs at a collegiate level. And so we spun up ads, landing pages, web presence, and it was able to drive a bunch of traffic to that. Still use the same strategies of advertising on Facebook. Once we'd get them on the phone, I mean, we would go through and, say, is this the value proposition that you're looking for? And we were able to go through and kind of nail down. And I mean, at the end of the day, your customers have a job to do, right? So that's why
Yeah.
we create products, is to help them fulfill whatever job that they need to do.
That's right.
So we would test all these different value propositions, and let's say we had, the high level one, and then we could segment and break that down until we knew whether A, this is going to work, or B, you should probably try something else. And in the end, I mean, we were able to figure out that the product that we were trying to produce wasn't the right cause, or wasn't the right solution for the job that the strength and conditioning program needed to do. But I mean, we tested that within, I don't know, a week and a half to 2 weeks. And I mean, we had talked to, 60 different customers within 2 weeks. I mean, actually got them on the phone, complete with, almost a full digital marketing rollout plan. So I mean, you can just move so
Yeah.
fast in terms of validating whether you're solving a problem or not.
Yeah, that's right. It's about moving fast. You got to be agile, right? And and anybody who thinks the younger generation is full of slackers, this guy works about, or at that time especially, worked about 22 hours a day. One of the biggest hustlers that I know out there, in a very good way. Wes, the people want to get in touch with you. They want to find out where you get this slick denim shirt that's absolutely beautiful. How do they get in touch with you, my man?
My email's best. That's weskmerrill@gmail.com.
Putting it right there for you folks.
Appreciate it. Yep. Click the link in the description. Twitter, not super hot on Twitter, but if you are a big Twitter fan, I'm at Wes Khalifa, Khalifa, after the famous rapper Wiz Khalifa, Wes Khalifa. Those are probably the two best ways to get in touch with me. So.
Brilliant, man. Wes, appreciate you joining us today, brother.
Thanks,
man.
Kyle. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Coming back to Valley Junction. This is where Wes and I met. Always have a special place in my heart, my man.
I love it here.
Thanks for joining us on this week's Whoop Whoop Deep Tracks. I'm Kyle, SEO Expert. He is
Wes Merrill.
Sir Weston Merrill. Peace.
See ya.